It's almost 2 in the morning and you're lying on a couch that smells faintly of someone else's dog. Your spine knows every spring in this cushion by now. Your whole life fits in a black duffel bag by the door. And somewhere across town, your last $40 is sitting in a checking account you're too scared to open. This is the couch of a friend who totally doesn't mind. A friend named Marcus who said, "Stay as long as you need, man," 3 weeks ago. And tonight, you heard him on the phone in the kitchen saying, "I love the guy, but I can't have him living here forever." He didn't know you were awake. You pretended you were. Here's the thing nobody warns you about. And the reason you need to watch this all the way through. Money is not just paper. Money is a chemical reagent. Pour it on the people around you, and it does one of two things. It hardens loyalty into something real, or it dissolves it like acid through cheap plastic. And as your net worth climbs from $0 to $100 million, the same friends will treat you in 5 completely different ways. By the end of this, you'll be able to look at anyone smiling at you across a table and know exactly which level they showed up for. Let's start at the bottom. Level 1, $0. The couch surfer. At this level, you have something most rich people would kill for and never admit it. You have the loyalty of people who get nothing from you. Marcus lets you crash because of who you were in 10th grade, not who you are now. When you have nothing, every friendship is pure because there's nothing to extract. Nobody is networking with a guy whose phone is at 4% and who splits a $2 gas station burrito for lunch. The friends you have at 0 are the cleanest data you will ever collect on human beings. Remember their faces. Tattoo them on the inside of your skull. Because here's the quiet truth, the people who feed you when you can't feed them back are the only friends you'll ever fully trust again. You just don't know it yet. Right now it feels like humiliation. Later it'll feel like the last honest census of your life. And the strange part? Some of these people will resent you the moment you rise. Not all, but some. Keep watching, because the betrayals don't come from where you expect. Level 2, $100,000. The struggling hustler. You've got a small apartment now, a used car with a payment, and a job that finally pays. 100 grand sounds like wealth from the couch, but you know the secret. It evaporates. It's the number where you feel rich and live broke at the same time. And watch what happens to your circle here, because this is where the reagent first starts to fizz. Suddenly, you're the friend with a little extra. The texts change. "Hey, weird question, but question." Marcus, the same Marcus who whispered in his kitchen, now needs to borrow $800 to cover his car registration, just till Friday. Thumb? Jeez, Friday never comes. You learn the most expensive lesson of this level. The loan you give a friend isn't a loan, it's a fee you pay to find out who they are. Pay it once, learn the answer, never pay it again. And here's the move the sharp ones make at 100 grand. You stop announcing anything. You drive the dented car a little longer. You let people assume you're still scraping. Because the moment your friends believe you have margin, you become a resource. And resources don't have friends. They have users with a smile. The smart version of you goes quiet. The loud version of you goes broke buying rounds for people who'll forget your name when the well runs dry. Level 3, $1 million. The rising executive. Now it gets interesting, because $1 million is the most dangerous social number there is. It's enough to be visible, but not enough to be insulated. People can see it. The car is new. The apartment has a view. You got the title, the LinkedIn post, the dinner invitations to places with no prices on the menu. And here is where you meet a brand new species of friend, the one you never had before you had money. They appear fully formed, charming, generous with their time, fascinated by your every story. They laugh a beat too long. They remember your coffee order. And your gut, the same gut that listened through Marcus's kitchen wall, starts whispering. This is too smooth. Trust that whisper. At $1 million, your friendships split into 2 rivers. The old friends from level 1 get quietly weird. Some are proud, some can't look at you, because your success is a mirror showing them the years they wasted. And the new friends arrive like seagulls behind a fishing boat, drawn not to you, but to the wake you leave. The brutal skill you develop here is reading the difference between someone who likes your company and someone who likes your proximity. The tell? Watch what they do when you have a bad day, when the deal falls through, when you're not winning. The proximity friend evaporates the instant you stop being useful. The real one shows up with the takeout and says nothing. At $1 million, you finally understand that everyone smiling at you is auditioning. And you, my friend, are the only judge in the room. Level 4, $10 million, the private jet passenger. Now the air gets thin, and the rules invert completely. At $1 million, people came to you. At 10 million, you stop letting them. You're sitting in a leather seat 8,000 feet over nothing, a glass of something cold sweating in your hand. And you realize the price of admission to your life just went up so high that the seagulls can't fly this far. This is where money does something strange. It builds a wall, and you start to love the wall. The phone numbers change. There's a person who answers your calls now, a person who handles the calendar, a person who quietly tells the old crowd, "You're traveling." And the friendships at this level aren't measured in loans anymore. The amounts got too big for that. Nobody asks you for $800 when you have 10 million. They ask for something far more dangerous. They ask you to invest. I've got this opportunity, and I only want people I trust. Listen close, because this is the most flattering trap ever built. They wrap the ask in the language of loyalty. I came to you first. I'd never bring this to a stranger. And every word is engineered to make declining feel like betrayal. The sharp version of you learns a single sentence here, and you say it with a warm smile every single time. I love you, but I don't do business with friends. Watch their face when you say it. The real friend nods and orders another drink. The one who came for the wake gets a flicker of something cold behind the eyes, there and gone in half a second. You caught it. That flicker is the whole game. And here's the loneliness nobody photographs on the jet. At 10 million, you can no longer tell if people are laughing at your jokes because you're funny or because you're rich. You'll never know again. That certainty is a thing you traded away somewhere around the first million, and no amount of money buys it back. So you do the only thing that works. You go find Marcus, the real one, if he's still real. You fly him out, no agenda, and you watch how he is around the plane. The man who's truly your friend gets weirdly bored of it by the second hour and just wants to talk about the old neighborhood. The man who isn't can't stop touching things, can't stop taking pictures, can't stop calculating. The jet isn't transportation at this level. The jet is a test, and almost nobody passes it. Level 5. $100 million. The invisible power player. And then, at the very top, the chemistry completes its final reaction, and the result will surprise you. You'd think 100 million means everyone wants a piece. The opposite is true. At 100 million, you disappear. You become invisible on purpose, because visibility at this altitude is pure liability. The car is unmarked. The watch is the cheap one, deliberately. You wear the grey hoodie to the meeting where everyone else wears the suit. And that's the flex, being the one person in the room who doesn't have to prove anything. Your friends at this level number maybe 4, maybe 3. And here is the beautiful, terrible truth that took you $100 million to learn. The only friendships that survive to the top are the ones formed before the money existed. You cannot make a new true friend at 100 million. It's structurally impossible because they can never not see the number when they look at you. The reagent has done its work. Everyone who could be dissolved years ago. What's left is whatever was real. And almost always, what's left came from the couch. The guy who let you sleep on the cushion with the broken spring, if he stayed honest through every level, if he never asked, never used, never flickered, he's the one sitting across from you now, in the grey hoodie too, laughing at a joke that has nothing to do with money. You pay for dinner, he lets you because he doesn't care, and that not caring is worth more than the 100 million. So go back to that couch. 2 in the morning, the dog smell, the $40 you were scared to look at, Marcus whispering in the kitchen. You thought that night was the bottom of your life. It wasn't. It was the laboratory. It was the one moment you ever got to see people clearly, before the reagent poured down and started separating the real from the soluble. Everything that climbed with you from that couch to the jet to the grey hoodie was already there in that room. You just couldn't read it yet. Money never changed your friends. It only developed the photograph that was always there. So the next time someone smiles at you across a table piled with food you can finally afford, don't ask if they changed. Ask which level they showed up for, and whether they'd have shown up at all, the night you had nothing but a duffel bag and a borrowed couch. That answer was written before the first dollar. You're only reading it now.